Greetings, Weight Watchers and friends. Welcome back to my channel, Fit to Love Me with Love Fuller. I'm Love Fuller, and I am here with a Cooking with Love video. Today we are making oven roasted spaghetti squash. This is a 1 smart point recipe the way I made it, but there's no need for that point. You can just omit the oil and it will be a 0 smart point recipe. Let's get started. After washing my spaghetti squash, I dried it and placed it on this cutting board. I'm going to cut off each of the ends, and then I'm going to stand it up and then cut it down the middle. I do want to say that this is not really an ideal looking spaghetti squash. This is completely off season, so you can see that it's very light yellow, and it's usually the best spaghetti squashes should have like a bright yellow color. Now that I have the spaghetti squash cut in half, I'm going to take a spoon. It's a serrated spoon, and I'm going to take out all of the loose insides. Basically have kind of like a stringy substance and the seeds. Now that the squash is cleaned out, I'm going to put a little bit of toasted sesame oil. I'm going to use up to 1 teaspoon for 1 smart point. I'm using this because this toasted sesame has a really nice kind of smoky flavor, gives the food a good flavor, and also, of course, it adds moisture to the squash, but it's not necessary. I'm also going to be using some olive oil spray, so you can feel free to just use some spray like that. And then I'm also going to be using salt and pepper. I tend to prefer seasoning salt for a lot of my dishes, and so I use Lowry seasoned salt, but you can just use regular salt. So while I was doing that, my oven was heating to 400 degrees. Now I'm spraying a foil-lined baking sheet. I'm going to place the spaghetti squash face down, put it in the oven for about 30 to 40 minutes. I will just test it by putting a knife in to make sure that it's tender and the knife will go straight through. I figured I'd try something different today, so I decided to roast the seeds. So you know that squash and pumpkin are in the same family, and so similar to pumpkin seeds, squash seeds can be roasted and eaten. So I am just separating the seeds from the pulp, and then although I forgot to film it later, I just rinse off the seeds, dry them, put them on a foil-lined baking sheet that was sprayed. And then I just make sure that they're separated as much as possible along the baking sheet, and then I just put salt on them. I've never done this before, so I just tried this myself. I just put them in the oven with something else was in there and just watched them. So this is not a specific recipe for the pumpkin seeds, but it's just a little bonus to let you know that this is something you can do with your seeds rather than just throwing them away, and they made a nice tasty snack. So when the squash was ready, I just took it out of the oven and used these forks to separate the squash in the inside from the rind. And that's it. There you have it. It is a 1 smart point vegetable, but of course you can omit the oil and it'll be 0 smart points. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. Bon appetit!